What is up, guys? Jordan here with the Deck Box, coming back to you with another another tabletop match. On the left-hand side, you will see Erika. She's going to be playing. Actually, it's Tablemon, his Gardevoir deck list that she decided to build IRL. And on the right-hand side, since I did not know that she was playing such a good deck, I decided to have fun, and I built my Lycanroc deck that I played on PTCGO. It's probably been a week or so since that went up. I'll put a link to that in the description. But yeah, when we were talking about doing this match, she said, "Hey, I'm bringing a new deck to League tonight," and I was like, "Oh, cool! Like she's gonna build something fun. We're gonna have some fun with this." And then she flips over the first cards, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's not new." And she goes, "No, I meant new for me." So you guys are about to see some interesting matches for sure. Like I said, she's playing Tablemon's list, and I'm playing my my fun Lycanroc list, which, as you may know, requires a substantial amount of energy to make things happen, and has difficult time one-shotting these Gardys. So it definitely will be interesting to see how this pans out. But yeah, we're into pretty deep into Erika's first turn. She did get that turn 1 Bridget, so she has 3 routes, a Remoraid, an Eevee set up and ready to go. She does need that Fairy Energy, though, for the Eevee evolution, or Energy Evolution. She doesn't get it. I start my turn with a Brooklet Hill, which is a great way to get things going. I'm going to dig through probably for a Rockruff here. The basics we play that could be searched out would be Rockruff or Carbink, so we can get that Carbink break line out. I think I go for another Rockruff. If you guys don't know, the reason or the main part of this deck is the Lycanroc GX, and it is a Midnight form, and its ability is a Lysander. Bloodthirsty Eyes, whenever you play it down, you can grab a Pokemon from your opponent's bench and pull them out. So you see Erika flashes her hand at the camera. That kind of makes my decision easy to play an N. We're trying to get better at the poker faces and not getting excited and showing the camera our cards, because when we do that, it means typically that we have a decent hand. So I choose to N us. Just a heads up, guys, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I apologize for the camera angle. We're still working on getting the optimal angles on this, but this video in particular is taken in a few different shots, and I think it kind of gets moved around a little bit. At one point, the camera actually fell, so we had to make some cuts to make things look as good as we could. So just apologize for that in advance. I do get an energy attachment, I believe, and then we move on. Erika gets that energy evolution for her Eevee. She's going to get a Sylveon out. Great card in this Gardevoir list, something people started to include. You get to use the magical ribbon, and basically what it's there for is so you can immediately grab your rare candies, your Gardys, whatever the case may be. In the following turn, you can just get those set up. The only thing that will prevent you is an N, and of course, it is not always a guarantee that your opponent will get that N. So here we have a cut because we weren't quite sure if the camera was running out of battery or not. It was running out of memory, so we had a little cut there, still on the same turn. So Erika flashing her hand, trying to show what she got there. Didn't quite see everything. She has a pretty stacked hand, though. Looks like, I think that was a DCE, and then we get a Choice Band onto the other Rockruff. And I think I'm using my Brooklet Hill here. Probably grab that Carbink. Yep, we do get that Carbink, and that serves 2 purposes, either to set up at the beginning or to reset up, I guess, later in the game if something gets knocked out. We do see that N, which of course messes up her magical ribbon hand. Good for our side for sure. We have to do that as much as possible, because as soon as her Gardys get set up, it's pretty much game over for anything they're up against. And so that's your biggest advantage against Gardy, is playing those Ns, disrupting your opponent's hand as much as possible. So we each get a fresh hand of 6. No one's taken any prizes yet, of course. And I think what I'm looking for now is probably a Lycanroc to get something stuck in the active, probably that Remoraid that can't attack. And I do Ultra Ball. It looks like I got rid of another Ultra Ball and a Choice Band. I do get the Lycanroc GX out there. Going to use up Bloodthirsty Eyes. I'm going to grab the Lele, get that stuck in the active for the time being. Of course, all it takes is one energy to retreat it. However, if it does get stuck there, and if I can take a Lele as my first 2 prizes, that'll be a good start. So here we see Erika Ultra Ball away Sylveon and one other card. She gets a Gardy. She probably has that rare candy in hand, so she will be able to start setting up. And there's a rare candy. She gets that Gardy set up right there in the middle of her board. And she'll probably use the ability. Yep, she uses the Gardy's ability to attach the fairy energy to the active, and she uses her attachment for turn to put a DCE on to the Gardy, and she plays an N. And that Gardy ability is called Secret Spring. What you're able to do is once per turn you can attach one fairy energy from your hand to any of your Pokemon. So that does stack, so the more Gardies she gets set up, the more dangerous she is. So here she gets an Ultra Ball, she gets rid of a rare candy and an Eevee to grab another Gardevoir. She is just rocking and rolling. She's getting things set up. I imagine she has another rare candy in hand, otherwise she wouldn't have gotten rid of the one that she did, and she does. So she now has 2 Gardevoir, so every turn that's a guarantee of 2 attachments. She puts that Sylveon back in the active. She's probably going to grab some energy. I think I saw the last one as a fairy energy, and I think she actually excuse me, I think she actually gives us a close-up here in the camera of what she grabbed. I believe it's, 2 fairy energy and Octillery. Great hand. She can automatically get those energies attached, lay down the Octillery, and grab a fresh hand. So that was the cut there where the camera fell over. I do go for my Brooklet Hill, digging for my other Rockruff. Probably knew in advance that it wasn't in there, just kind of looking through my deck to see what I have. I did prize my last Rockruff. And we play a Professor Kukui. We draw our 2 cards. The only downside is I don't think we took advantage of the additional 20 damage this round. I do get an energy attachment there on my Lycanroc. Sorry for the glare there. But yeah, it was one of those times where didn't have any other draw supporters, had to use that. So now on to Erika's turn, and see what happens here. She gets the energy down. She's trying to decide where to put that second one. Yep, she puts them both on the same one. That was the one that had the DCE attached already. She gets a Choice Band on the other, and she Gizmos. What a great top deck to get. She uses the Abyssal Hand to grab 5 new cards. I think I saw a Gallade in there, another Fairy Energy. So she uses that as her attachment, and she takes down our only setup Lycanroc, bringing her down to just 4 prizes. So she's already starting to gain some momentum in this match. And, all right, so it looks like he used a special charge to get back those energy. I believe it was a DCE and a strong energy. And I believe the Rockruff I promoted has an energy attached to it. Yep, and so I put on a Dumbbells. I do evolve into the Midnight Lycanroc GX. And almost missed the Bloodthirsty Eyes. So I grab Octillery, stick it in the active. She was kind enough to let me stick with that. I can't tell what card I played that I'd be digging through. I think it's a Bridget. I may have been going for my Rangaroos, and it looks like, yeah, I grabbed one. I do play 2. One of them must be prized. So I was going for that just to try to dig through my hand a little bit. And then we grab one more card. Probably digging through here to see what I have used as far as supporters. Okay, so we play Rescue Stretcher. We get back our Rockruff onto the bench so we can use that in the future. We have to have those Rockruffs so that we can have targets for our Lycanrocs. And we did play down a non-GX Lycanroc, and what that does is the first attack for 1 energy does 30, but if it's a basic Pokemon, it will do 60, so it can one-shot a lot of these small basic like routes. And then the second attack for a fighting and a double colorless, it does 90, and your opponent cannot retreat. So pretty decent attack, especially paired with the Bloodthirsty Eyes. Erika gets the DCE on her Octillery. She will be able to get out of the active. Now she's just checking to see what that Lycanroc does. Not a super popular card. Just decided to include it because It's always nice to have a non-EX attacker, non-GX attacker. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. So that is my inclusion in this deck. She does retreat her Octillery, slides her Gardevoir up there. It has, what was that, 2 energy and a choice band, I believe. So now she's just going through, trying to keep track of her Secret Springs. I believe she does 120 to the active. Or, you know what? I think it's 150. I think it's a DCE attached. Well, I put 4 dice out there. It's probably more than that. Okay. Probably about, you know what? I think it's 200 because we do have the dumbbells on there. But it just survived because of those. Playing down an N, I will get 6 new cards. She will be able to grab 4, which, as we know at this point, the Ns don't really hurt her. She doesn't really need to use her Sylveon anymore to get set up, and she has Abyssal Hand with her Octillery to be able to just continue to draw. So she is in a very, very good spot. No surprise with such a strong deck. And it looks like I get the Fighting Energy, and I decide to use my GX attack on her active Gardevoir, doing 200 and I think it's 280 damage with that. Kind of overkill. If you don't know what the attack is, it does 50 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So a full bench does 250, just KOing. Oh, that's right. I did 250. I don't have a choice band attached. It's dumbbell. Sorry about that, guys. So she Ultra Balls here. I think she has a Curlia on her bench or a Routes. I can't quite see. I think it's a Routes, but I could be wrong. She gets a Lele, grabs that Sycamore, and she is going to get a fresh hand of 7. As I've mentioned in past videos, Erika really, really likes to get fresh hands. She loves any chance she gets to get a Sycamore. She's usually willing to dump her hand, no questions asked, and she will dig through pretty quickly, which can be very, very helpful. Sometimes can be detrimental, but she usually knows when to do it. And there she takes a KO on my other Lycanroc GX, bringing her down to just 2 cards, or 2 prize cards rather, and I have to stick my Oranguru in the active and try to keep her only getting 1 prize at a time at this point, and see if I can build back up before she just steamrolls my bench. So there we do see the KO on the Oranguru. Nothing too difficult to do. And we slide the Lycanroc up there. We Field Blower the Choice Band to prevent further damage. Let's see if we can survive a hit or 2. And I believe I laid down some basics. Yeah, an Oranguru and a Rockruff. Those are probably for my prizes. Attach a Strong Energy, and we Sycamore to grab 7 new cards. I think I see a DCE in there, so that'd be decent for next turn. However, I'd still only be doing 130, and it would also put her up to 6, or at least 6 energy between the two of us. I think it's a little bit more. I think she's got another one tucked up underneath, and she has more in her hand. All right, so she's just going to secure this one. She has herself up to 6, me up to 7, doing 210 damage. She takes game 1. So you can definitely see Lycanroc, at least from the first match, really no match for Gardy, which is incredible because, I mean, you're looking at stage 1 versus stage 2. However, the lack of damage that that Lycanroc can put out is just it's not good enough. Gardy can just accelerate the energy, and every single time that it attaches, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So definitely a great showing by Gardy in that matchup. And of course, as usual, I will be leaving links in the description to both the Gardevoir list that Erika used. As I mentioned before, that is Tablemon's list. We want to make sure we give him credit for that. She's going to go over just kind of the strategy of it real briefly in her deck profile. And then my profile has been out for a few days now, and I will leave a link to that as well, going over my 60-card list, so you can kind of see how it works. So here we're shuffling up, getting ready for the next game. I will be going first on this one since I did lose the last round quite miserably. It looks like I gave up a mulligan before this and another. In my list, we play, let's see, I believe it's 9 basics and only 5 evolutions. So really shouldn't be giving up 2 mulligans with this list. So here we go. We do get our basic, lay down our prizes, and we will get things started. So obviously what I need this first turn is the turn 1 Bridget, just to make sure I can get going on turn 2. We get an energy attachment, that fighting energy there, and a choice band, and then we end. That seems to be the only supporter we had at the time, so I need to be able to make sure to get something out. If I don't get some bench Pokemon out fast enough, she could very well bench us this game. And she has her optimal start as well with the, oh, sorry for the camera movement, guys. She has her optimal start as well with that Eevee, and if she gets a Fairy Energy, she automatically has her Sylveon, and she gets to attack turn 1, so she will be able to start setting up. And look at that hand. A Lele, a Fairy Energy, I think a Routes in there, a Bridget. So there she gets that Energy Evolution, and she will be able to get her Sylveon and immediately go into her deck. And if she has a Routes this turn, she can immediately go into her deck with that magical ribbon, grab herself a rare candy and a Gardy, and turn 2, she will be up and ready to go. And she'll be able to start swinging very quickly and very hard. Excuse me. So she does get a Routes. She also gets a Bridget. She doesn't even have to play her Lele. I end her into that. She gets a Remoraid, a Routes, and probably another Routes. Looks like she has to double check, making sure that she didn't prize anything of importance. There's her second Routes, or third Routes rather, at this point. So that's just an incredible turn 1 hand. She not only has her Bridget, but she has her Sylveon set up to be able to start prepping for turn 2, which is just incredible. The deck is flowing exactly how it's supposed to. She uses her magical ribbon, grabs those 3 cards. And now on this next turn, we will see if I can somehow suppress her great start. And if not, it could be over quicker than you think. Okay. So we did use our Brooklet Hill that turn. We get a Rockruff down, so we're safe for at least one more turn after this one. Get a DCE on him, and looks like a Dumbbells on the other one. And we do Sycamore, digging for that Lycanroc GX. If we get the Lycanroc GX, we can actually start taking some quick knockouts. We get an Ultra Ball. Looks like we get rid of a Carbink Break and something else. I can't quite see it. It's hidden under the card. And we decide to just go for our non-GX is what it looks like. And I think the strategy behind this is just to get her Sylveon stuck in the active. We can swing for 120 with that choice band, so we can prevent her from retreating the Sylveon. And next turn we can actually take a KO as long as she does not find a Gizmo. So she gets a rare candy. She grabs a Gardevoir. And I straighten up her bench. I'm a little OCD about bench cleanliness, I guess. Erika is not. So she gets a Gardevoir there with an Ultra Ball. Looking good at this point. She's got her Sylveon. She's got what looks like will be 2 Gardevoir here in a second. So, yep, there's the second Gardevoir. And she ends. She still has not had to play a single Tapu Lele this entire game, and she is just rocking through her deck, getting set up. And that's what's great about this Gardevoir list. It's not like you have to come straight out of the gate and be attacking and swinging hard to win. You just have to get set up with your Pokemon. You don't. I mean, at this point, you see she only has 1 energy on her board. She doesn't have to have a ton of energy out right away, because out of nowhere, the energy will just accelerate and it can do its thing. So there she field blowers away my Brooklet Hill and my choice band. And lays down a DCE of her own and KOs my Lycanroc. She says, you know what, if I'm going to get stuck in the active, I'll at least make something happen. So we do get our Lycanroc GX. We grab that auxiliary and we attach a strong energy so that we can prep for next turn. And it looks like we bridge it here. It looks like a couple Rockruff, and that is it. Or no, it was a Carbink and a Rockruff, I believe. Looks like we prized a Rockruff again this game. So not looking too good for us. I think what we're hoping for on our next turn is to get one more energy attachment to the active at least. Grab another Lycanroc GX, pull a Gardevoir into the active, or Lele, either way, and take those 2 prizes. So on to Erika's turn. Let's see if she can get a third Gardevoir set up. She parallels me. I get rid of what looks like a Carbink. She grabs an Ultra Ball. So here we're probably going to see her either set up a Kirlia or her, yep, there's a Kirlia. I was going to say, or her third Gardevoir, but it looks like she'll just stick with the Kirlia for now, which seems satisfactory since she already has 2 set up. Gets an energy attachment on her Gardevoir, probably one of her Secret Springs. There's a Float Stone on her Octillery. Another energy attached. And there's the attachment for... Oh, she's changing her mind. So she's already got 2 on that. She's trying to do some math and see if it'll make much of a difference. She doesn't want to commit a bunch of energy to a Pokemon that could potentially be KO'd this turn. And she decides, oh, she sticks the Sylveon up there. Okay, not a bad play. And she hits it for 110. She figures if she's going to get rid of 2 prizes, it might as well be something that is not core to her deck at this point. Like I said, she's already used her magical ribbons for what they needed to be used. I do get the fighting energy attached. The question is, am I taking a KO on the Sylveon, or am I taking it on something else? And I do get my Lycanroc GX. I am able to bring a Gardevoir to the active, and I believe I grabbed the one with all the energy attached. And what is that? N? Okay. So now what I need to find is a Choice Band. If I get a Choice Band, I can take this KO. Because right now she only has 4 Pokemon on her bench, so I do 200. I have strong energy, so I do 220. So I'm just 10 damage short of taking this KO. If I can find myself a Choice Band, I can hit for 250, take the KO, and tie the game up. So let's see if I hit it off this N. And by the looks of it, I do not. I think I had a dumbbells there I put on my bench. A Field Blower, a couple items, the Float Stone, and I believe a Choice Band. And really, in reality there, I probably should have just gotten rid of the Choice Band on the active Gardevoir. I made the mistake and did not get rid of that one. I instead got rid of the Sylveons for some reason. I guess I wasn't paying too much attention to that. So now I'm trying to do some math. And like I said, I hit for 220, so just 10 damage left on that Gardevoir. Kind of a downer kind of way to use the GX attack. And yeah, I didn't flip my GX coin there, but I did use the GX attack there. So kind of a bummer that I had to waste it and not get a one-shot, but that's okay. Erika gets her Gallade out there, kind of as an alternative. It has Premonition as well, which pairs very nicely with Octillery. She essentially gets to choose which card she's going to draw. So we'll see what happens here. She gets another energy attachment, up to 4 on that active. She's going to commit it anyway because she knows it's going to take the KO. And actually, probably would have been better to attach that to a different Pokemon because she still could have taken a KO on this Lycanroc anyway. But at this point, it's pretty unimportant to her. She's got such a commanding lead. So she puts the DCE onto the Gallade. And it looks like she's digging through her discard, seeing if there's something she can put back into her deck. And she takes out my Lycanroc. So she is down to just 2 prize cards, I believe. Yeah, she's taking down 2 Lycanroc GX, and I scoop. I know there's no way out of this one. Nothing I can do to come back from that. So now we move to game 3, actually in a different location. As you can see, the table change. We are still on the appropriate sides. I think we got a little bit better angle here. I should probably be able to see the cards a little bit better in our hands. So we're going to hop right into this match and see if Erika sweeps it, or if I can actually come back and take one game Yeah, this has just been not too much fun for Lycanroc. Lycanroc's getting beat up really hard by Gardy, but that is to be expected. Gardy being essentially the best deck in format right now. And there we see I take a mulligan, and Erika gets her start again. Not only does she get one in the active, she also has one on her bench, and she'll be able to start with an extra card. So the key to me having a chance at this one is I have to get set up a lot quicker than I have in the past 2 games, and I have to get that GX attack off at the right time. I need to take energy off of her board. Otherwise, my game's just kind of shot. So here we go, moving into the 3rd game. I start with a Rockruff. Ooh, major glare there, guys. Sorry about that. She does start with her Eevee once again. I get a Bridget with an Oranguru, and I grab a Rockruff. Probably going to grab another Rockruff, and probably a Carbink here. All right, awesome. Oh, lost a card there. So I am off to a much better start than what I was used to in those first 2 games, where essentially I had nothing to get set up. But now things are starting to look up a little bit. Not only do I have my bench set up, but I have a Pokemon that allows me to draw more cards in Oranguru. So now we're on to Erika's turn, looking for that turn 1 Sylveon, and she gets it. And as usual, she gets to attack on her first turn, so she will be able to use her Magical Ribbon, likely grabbing a Rare Candy and a Gardevoir. So let's see if she gets her turn 1 Bridget as well. She does get a Tapu Lele. She's going to go for that Bridget. Probably getting a Routes, a Remoraid, and another Routes. So there we go. There's one, and a Remoraid. And does she have her 3rd Routes? And see, what's great with this setup, guys, is if she has more than 1 Routes, she likely has either a Rare Candy or a Gardy in her hand, or an Ultra Ball, or some way to get one of those cards. So with her Magical Ribbon, she can essentially grab 2 Rare Candy and a Gardy, or 2 Gardy and a Rare Candy, and she can have 2 Gardys set up on her 2nd turn, as long as everything goes according to plan. And again, if she gets End, it's not like she loses anything. She may actually draw into potentially a better hand than what she was left with. So, all right, so now she is going to use that Magical Ribbon. She's going to dig through, grabbing 3 cards of her choice. And if I remember correctly, guys, this matchup, at the beginning of it, when I saw, we were talking about her Sylveon in her list and how critical it is. This was actually the time I had the conversation with her about building my Sylveon deck, and I'm glad I had that conversation. I am enjoying that. I'll pop a link to this, a link to that video in the description as well. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, little fun fact about what we talk about whenever we're playing matches. So I do get my, I'll call it my baby Lycanroc up, as well as a Lycanroc GX. I slide Routes into the active. I'm looking for an energy because that will take a 1-shot on to the Routes. I attach a strong energy, and I take a KO. I'm actually getting a jump start to this game. Taking down one of its potential attackers is critical. And the good thing from here is I have them set up so I can slide things out like the Remoraid the next turn potentially if I get another Lycanroc, and just get a little bit of a lead on things before I get too far behind. So here we see Erika using a Sycamore. She is just going hard and fast on this one. She's already got her 2 Gardy, as I mentioned before. She gets a DCE on the active Sylveon and uses a Secret Spring to attach to her Gardy. She takes down my Lycanroc, and we slide Carbink up there. I use my Rescue Stretcher to grab a Rockruff just to make sure my bench stays filled up. Field Blower that Float Stone, and I use my Oranguru Instruct for 1, and Ultra Ball. What do I grab? A Tapu Lele. Probably going to grab a Sycamore here. That would make sense. Yep, and that is what we go for. So now what we're hoping here is that we can get some energy so that we can start making something happen. Probably going to use the Carbink Break in the active to attach 2 energy from our discard to one of our fighting Pokemon, likely our Lycanroc GX, and then potentially the following turn we can use our GX attack. Erika's playing it very smart. She's keeping her bench at 4, I believe. Yeah, it looks like 4 right now. so I cannot one-shot her Gardy with that GX attack unless I have a choice band attached. Alright, so we move on to Erika's turn. I do get the energies onto my Lycanroc with the Carbink Break. She Field Blowers, looks like gets rid of my choice band. Great move because it does prevent me from taking the one shot with that GX attack. And she gets a choice band of her own. And she Sycamores, probably digging for some more energy to guarantee a one shot with her Gardy. And that is what's so incredible about this list, is that Gardy determines what Gardy is going to do. Nothing is going to hold it back. The only determination is how many energy it can accelerate, and it just keeps going and going and going. So here we go. She takes down my Carbink. She's at 4 prizes. I am at 5. I slide my Lycanroc GX into the active, and I evolve to grab her other Gardevoir. And we grab a Tapu Lele again, and we get that Sycamore. We're digging for that energy. We need an energy and a choice band, or we just need one strong energy. One strong energy will do it for us because we already have one strong energy attached. So we will be swinging for 240 if we hit this. And I don't think I see the energy. I think I see a DCE, but I don't think that there is a choice band with it. And of course, if I attach the DCE, that moves her energy or her attack damage up to 180, which would just leave her 1 energy away from taking down that Lycanroc. So here you can kind of see the dilemma with this deck. It does require 3 to use its standard attack. And against Gardevoir, that just really hurts it. So I do choose to do that. I can swing for 130. I grab an Ultra Ball. Let's see if I go for another Lycanroc. I do, and I'm going to grab her Octillery. I choose to slide that up there so that I can take a KO on that, do all that I can. And so we're down to 4 apiece. She slides her Gardevoir up with 2 energy, I believe, and a choice band. Gets a choice band on her other Gardevoir. And there is a DCE onto her active. She's going to be swinging for 240 damage. And she just keeps field blowing away all my tools. And now she ends us both to a fresh hand of 4. Alrighty. Really not much that she could be digging for at this point. She knows she's going to get a KO on this active Lycanroc. And then from there, not a whole lot that I can do, if I'm being really honest with you. So it looks like I slide my Tapu Lele into the active because I can swing with its attack for a DCE. I do use the special charge to get back a DCE and a strong energy. And I think I know at this point, I'm starting to do math. You know, if I attach a DCE, then it just takes down my Lele. Anything I do to advance my own board state will, in the end, just bring me the loss. So I do the math, I swing, and then I believe right here is when I scoop. So guys, Erika does take 3 of 3 on this. She turns the tables in this match. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We are the Deck Box. Have a great night.